Welcome to Big Daddy Sports, where I'm your host, Big Daddy.
I'm LB Jenkins.
And we'll be with you this week, once again, talking about the hot topics in the NFL and giving you our picks for the week. We're going to jump right in it. First topic, your boy Tony Romo blew another big lead.
I'm not going to put it all on Tony. I mean, he did throw 3 interceptions in the game, but got to put it on Jason Garrett. Second half, you got the opposing team keep coming up, keep getting scores, keep getting turnovers. You play the ball. Start playing more conservative. Stop passing the ball when Tony Romo doesn't know where to throw it. Rob Ryan, got to put some blame on him. Even though Tony Romo's throwing defense, what are you doing? What is your personnel doing when Calvin Johnson catches a ball in triple coverage? It's not just Tony Romo, a lot on Tony Romo, but the coaching staff has to make adjustments as well.
Elite quarterbacks don't make the mistakes that Tony Romo makes. Tony Romo is 6th in the NFL in yardage. He's a 65% completion quarterback, but he makes mistakes at the most crucial of times. That last pick to Jason Witten, while it was the proper read, he couldn't make the throw. And so you have to make that decision. He put too much air under that ball, and it's intercepted, and you put your team in a hole. And yeah, I agree, Jason Garrett should have probably started running the ball at least after the second interception. But Tony, if he's going to be in the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning class, has to play like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning for 4 quarters. And so they have a bye week this week, and Jason Garrett has to go to his quarterback and be like, look, you got to stop turning the ball over to the other team. Dallas should be 4-0.
Should be.
Their 2 losses fall squarely on the shoulders of Tony Romo. They got to get that fixed. Next up, what's wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles?
What's wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me count the ways. Michael Vick getting hit still. Offensive line is not doing their job. I have a second-string quarterback, Ronnie Brown, trying to make a highlight tape.
Running back, second string running back. He thought he was a quarterback, and he shouldn't have thrown that ball.
I'm going to throw the ball. What are you doing? On the 1-yard line. That could have been 6 points. No, you're going to give the ball up.
I agree with you. Ronnie Brown has to have a higher football IQ. I know the play that was called was a throwback pass, but you have to know that you're wrapped up and hold on to the ball and eat that one. My bigger concern is that defense. Frank Gore came into that game, ladies and gentlemen, averaging under 3 yards a carry. He came out of that game on Sunday, averaging 8.7 yards on Sunday. You're not going to win games that way. Philly's problem really is defensively right now. They play what's called the wide 9 front, and it means the defensive ends are on the outside of the tackles. They're rushing upfield because they're not great pass rushers, but they're quick. And so you need large defensive tackles to clog the middle and stop the run. They don't have that. So offensive lines not only get on their defensive tackles, but they get on their undersized linebackers, and the linebackers aren't able to make plays. Therefore, you give up almost 9 yards a carry. You're not going to win many games in the National Football League like that. They have to change the defensive scheme. Andy's a smart coach. Andy Reid will get this figured out, but they're running out of time. At 1-3, you're getting yourself out of playoff contention very early.
I agree. Another thing, Andy, I think you would score more points a game if you stop running the same play when you're in the red zone. When you're on the 2-yard line, about to go, stop running running back up the middle. Because guess what? Defensive teams know this now. Same play. They're doing it every time. You have the same problem on short of 31. I'm going to run the ball. No, let's pass the ball. Open up the playbook a little bit. Get the ball to somebody, a wide receiver. Get that first down. Then continue driving down the field.
Again, Andy Reid's capable of getting this fixed. I haven't given up on the Eagles yet. Our next topic, should the Vikings bench Mac 5?
Yes. All right. I'm not going to put it all on McNabb. I think the offense is not playing together all collectively. You cannot put it all on Adrian Peterson. He cannot care. You paid him the money. He's going to get his job. He's going to get his 100 yards again. He's going to get at least 80 yards receiving a game. That's fine. He's doing his job. But you can't put the whole win and try to go take a whole Sunday game and put it on AP. He's going to fumble. He gets tired. He gets weary. He gets hits. It's going to happen. Defensively, Jared Allen, you got to play all 4 quarters. You can't play sometimes. You're giving up. This time, you guys did better. You guys did better as far as not giving up in the second half. But at the same time, you started this first quarter letting KC score. consistent on offense and defense is going to help turn Minnesota around.
The problem in Minnesota is not necessarily McNabb. He has not been stellar, but he has not been horrible. I'm going to shock you what I'm about to say. This team would not be 0-4 if Brad Childress was still the coach. Brad Childress, as an offensive coordinator, looked at his team and saw what his strengths were, and he played to his strengths. If you go back to when he had Gus Frerotte at quarterback, he played to Gus's strength, and Gus is less talented than what Donovan McNabb is now. I think they're having trouble figuring out what their offensive calling card is. When they get in trouble, they have no play to go to. And so every week we're guessing. We're trying to figure out what's going to pull us out of this hole we're in. And so I think they miss Brad Childress in that way. That being said, you can't bench Donovan because Christian Ponder isn't ready. And if Joe Webb was your quarterback, you wouldn't have signed Donovan McNabb. So you're kind of stuck with him, but they have to get out this rut. 0-4, you're probably not going up to the playoffs, but you got to get the shit right. You can't give up on the season, so they got to get it together. Next topic. Mike Martz got our memo about running the ball, didn't he?
Matt Forte, great game. Got the carries, got the yardage, finished strong. That's what Chicago needed. The offense, you got Jay Cutler getting sacked less, not getting hit. You got to be two-dimensional in your offense.
We've said all season long, Matt Forte is a quality running back. Right now, he's averaging 5.4 yards a carry. He's had 3 40-yard runs and 5 runs of 20 yards a carry. So he's obviously a quality running back, and he can make plays. If they can keep this offensive balance, Chicago can be more effective in winning games. In our next segment, we're going to talk about some teams and whether they're in trouble or not. First, we're going to start with all the Steelers in trouble.
The Steelers are not in trouble. The Steelers are not what they were a year ago, not where they were 2 years ago. The Steelers aren't playing to the caliber of what we're used to seeing them at. I believe they're not in trouble. I don't think at 2-2, I don't think the season's over. I think instead of winning the division, you're more of a wild card right now. But I think they're going to get it together.
What scares me about the Steelers right now is you're 22nd ranked in defense. And that's just not the Pittsburgh Steelers that we know. And then on top of that, you lose James Harrison to an eye injury, and he's going to be out for several weeks. So with those things being said, I'm not pushing the panic button, but only because of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin seems to find a way to hold that team together, keep that team focused. The offense has been playing up and down. They'll figure it out. I think the team is still a playoff caliber team. I'm not worried about the Steelers. Next question is the game this week bigger for the Patriots or for the Jets? Now, the Patriots are 3-1 and the Jets are 2-2. So just wondering, who's it more important to this week?
I think it's more important to the Jets. You've got 2 losses the last 2 weeks. You guys have not been playing well on offense. Sanchez has not been consistent at all. 1 great pass and 1 great interception for the other team. I think the defense as well, Revis and Antonio Cromartie, you're not getting the showmanship and getting the interceptions and not getting the production that you used to out of them. I think the Jets need to win this week to get them out of the slump.
I think it's a bigger game for the Patriots simply because of the schedule that's upcoming. The Patriots have Dallas, a bye, at the Steelers, Giants, and Jets again. When you look at that schedule, if they lose this game, they could lose their next couple of games and get into a tailspin. So the Patriots really need to win this game to get the 4-1 and to keep the momentum. Whereas the Jets schedule is a little bit softer. They see the Dolphins, they see San Diego, and they play at Buffalo. More winnable games. So it's more important for the Patriots to stay up and not let the Jets beat them again. Next question. How you feel about these 3-1 teams? The 49ers, the Tennessee Titans, the Buffalo Bills. I know you're big on Fitzpatrick. How you feel about these teams?
Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Buffalo Bills, I am big on. I don't like what I saw last week against Cincinnati. Again, great controlling the game, and then you blow a lead. I mean, you gave Andy Dalton some confidence to go into the rest of the season. Buffalo's going to get together. They have to play consistent. You have to play the same as good as you did against the Patriots. I mean, you have another game with the Patriots coming. You have 2 games against the Jets. You have to play consistent all the way through. And then the 49ers. 49ers defense is playing great. Frank Gore, great last game. I can't be confident about 49ers until Alex Smith is consistent. I can't put faith in him when he's not really winning these games. The defense, the running back, he's doing it. He's doing a decent job. He's getting better, but I can't put faith in that.
In Tennessee,
Matt Hasselbeck has been revived. Each week he's getting better. I mean, you go into the first week, it's like, all right, this is a losing season. Then you beat Baltimore, and I'm like, Baltimore didn't expect Matt Hasselbeck to play at that caliber. He's getting better. You lose Kenny Britt, and then Nate Washington steps up. So I think Tennessee, I'm getting more confident. I need to see a couple more games, though.
I think Tennessee has the potential to contend with Houston in that division. Just the way that team is built, you lose your best player and guys keep stepping up. And Matt Hasselbeck looks young, he looks fresh, he looks rejuvenated in that offensive system. As far as Buffalo, disappointing loss last week. You got to bounce back this week, but you have a difficult game against the Eagles. And with the 49ers, I'm not sold on them, not just because of Alex Smith. Alex Smith is always going to be a question. But then Frank Gore, as stated earlier, previous to the Philadelphia game, hadn't shown up this season. So you're not playing Philly every week. Is he going to continue to show up? Only time will tell that. We have to see. Too early to jump on the 49ers bandwagon. All right, it's the segment you've been waiting for. It's the picks. Let's get it started. I don't even want to talk about last week. It was fluke.
I
whatever.
know, 3-1, guys. 3-1.
Yeah.
Go with my picks.
3-1. 3-1 teams don't always finish strong. We'll see how it goes. New Orleans at Carolina.
This is hard. New Orleans defense is not playing at a caliber, and Cam Newton is scoring. Him and Steve Smith are syncing together. They're scoring every game. This is actually hard, even with Carolina being at home. But I think the veteran Drew Brees is going to get it done. I'm going with New Orleans.
I'm taking New Orleans just because Drew Brees. Drew Brees is the X factor. And while Cam is playing well, I don't think Drew is going to let his team lose a game, that they should win. Next game, we have Tennessee at Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is struggling. Matt Hasselbeck is doing better. I'm still going to go with Pittsburgh at home. I think they're going to get it together, address the injuries. Like you said, Mike Tomlin, great coach. Pittsburgh's going to win.
I think it's going to be a difficult game, especially if Chris Johnson keeps on his tear. He's starting to get on. If Chris Johnson runs loose, it could be a long day for the Steelers. But I think they keep him in check. I think Lamar Woodley steps up. I think the Steelers win this game. Kansas City at Indy.
This is hard. Kansas City did play better last week. But I like what I saw in Indianapolis, and Kansas City is not being consistent this season either. I'm going with Indy.
I'm taking Indy. I think I like what I saw, how they're calling the offense with Curtis Painter. Honestly, it's kind of unfair because they're calling the offense totally different for Painter than they did for Terry Collins. Obviously, Painter probably knows more of the playbook, but the offense looks different. And I like the fight I see in Indy. Although 0-4, they're fighting. These are not blowouts. I'm taking Indy at home. We have Philly at Buffalo.
I've went for Philly every game this season, and they've let me down. I'm going with Buffalo. I am on the Buffalo Bills bandwagon, and I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to pull it off. Fred Jackson's going to run all over this run defense. They're going to run.
I'm taking Philly. I think Mike Vick is going to take this team and just carry it on his back. I think Vick's going to throw for 300 yards. I think he's going to run for 100 yards, and I think he's going to have to because Buffalo can't score. But I'm taking Philly on the road. Seattle at the New York Giants.
New York Giants. Enough said.
Seattle's playing better than you're giving them credit for. They almost came back against Atlanta last week, but I'm taking the Giants. I like how Eli's looking right now. That run game is working with the Giants, and somehow Tom Coughlin has that defense with all those injuries playing well, taking the Giants at home. Cincy at Jacksonville.
Andy Dalton, great game last week, coming bringing them back. I think Andy Dalton's getting together, learning the full playbook, getting it to his new wide receiver, rookie wide receiver as well. They're a great combination. I'm taking Cincinnati on the road.
This is going to be a low-scoring game. We got two underrated defenses playing this week. But when you look at the quarterbacks, I like what I've seen from Andy Dalton better than what I've seen from Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert has not been horrible. However, Andy Dalton has showed me something. That comeback last week after the interceptions he threw showed me a little bit of spunk in that quarterback. I'm starting to like him a little bit, so I'm taking Cincy. Next, we have Oakland at Houston.
it's a hard game. Darren McFadden's running all over the field, doing well. Houston defense stood up. Jonathan Joseph, I clowned him a couple weeks ago, like this is going to be an answer. He's actually stepping up, making plays. I'm going to go with Houston at home.
This could be a huge letdown game for Houston after winning the biggest game in franchise history versus the Steelers. Oakland comes in off a tough loss to the Patriots. But I'm going with Houston because they sold me last week on their defense. When you can hold the Steelers to 10 points, I think their defense is getting it together. Wade Phillips doing a heck of a job. Again, I'm going with Houston. Arizona at Minnesota.
Well, guys, again, I can tell you how this game's going to go. Minnesota's going to score a whole bunch of points, get up, halftime's going to happen, Arizona's going to come back and win. I'm taking Arizona.
A lot of faith in Kevin Kolb there, and he hasn't shown you anything. I know I said last week that if Mac 5 lost, I wasn't running with him. I lied. Mac 5 is going to get it done this week. They're going to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, we got Tampa Bay at San Francisco.
San Francisco defense is stepping up, and you're at home. But Tampa Bay, even though they struggle, Josh Freeman gets it done. Fourth quarter, going to get it done. Tampa Bay's going to win.
I take Tampa Bay because Josh Freeman in the fourth quarter is incredible. But I think the thing that he has helping him is that battering ram of a running back and LeGarrette Blount. He wears you down. He doesn't have to get a lot of yards, but he keeps running hard 4 quarters. And you saw it against Indy on Monday night. In the fourth quarter, they didn't want any part of him. I think the same thing happens this week, taking Tampa on the road. Jets at New England, playoff rematch.
New England at home, I'm going to go with Tom Brady said today in an interview. Jets beating us was a long time ago. It was a lockout ago. It was an off season ago. It was a season ago. So I'm going to go ahead and go with New England at home.
I think it's going to be high scoring because the Patriots defense is lackluster. However, I'm going with Brady. I'm going with Brady at home. I'm going with Belichick. Belichick's going to make adjustments. They're going to find ways to make plays. And one of the things that the Patriots do well is they use the tight end down the seams, which the Jets defense struggles with. But the Patriots have 2 of them. So I'm looking for the Patriots to win this game. We have San Diego at Denver.
San Diego. Enough said.
It's almost Tebow time, but not this week.
Tebow.
Diego's going to win this game. Just a better team all around. Another playoff rematch. Green Bay at Atlanta.
Atlanta's defense might as well not even show up on the field. They just might as well go with the starting 11 on offense. I'm going to go with Green Bay.
Something inside of me, for whatever reason, is telling me that Atlanta is going to find the moxie to upset Green Bay. But I don't believe it, so I'm going with Green Bay.
That was not the whole team.
So, the last game we have Monday night, Chicago at Detroit.
I'm on the Detroit bandwagon as well. Let's go Detroit.
I've been riding Chicago all season long, and it's been 50-50. They done found their running game. Chicago is going to show up, and Detroit's going to be happy to have this Monday night game, but they're going home with an L. Chi-Town's taking this one. Riding with Jay Cutler.
Remember, I won last week. 3-1.
Keep loading. Segment 4, fantasy. Fantasy update for this week. We got the bye weeks for the first time this season. So you have Baltimore, Cleveland, Dallas, Miami, St. Louis, and Washington. If you have any of their players, sit them. You don't want players up there that are not getting you points. Then, our hints for this week. I would go with Victor Cruz from the New York Giants if I need a wide receiver. Him and Eli have been hooking up, making plays together these last couple of weeks. I'd go with Victor Cruz. Next, if Baltimore is your defense, I'd look at Cincinnati or Jacksonville. Undercover defenses that people don't really know that are playing well, they can get you by for a week. And then lastly, play Fred Jackson. We already told you about that Philly defense. Fred Jackson looks to have a big day. You got any hints for the people?
We got the Giants at home versus Seattle. Play that Giants defense. Seattle might get a field goal. Tavares Jackson's going to throw a whole bunch of picks. The Giants are going to win. Also, looking at here, we got Tennessee versus Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Chris Johnson. Even though he's stepping up, I don't think Chris Johnson's going to score. I'll sit Chris Johnson for this week.
That's risky. They gave up 150 yards rushing to Arian Foster last week. We'll see. That's all we have for you this week. Hit us up on Twitter at BigDaddieK6, BigDaddieK6.
I'm Light Bright J. LB Jenkins at Light Bright J.
Hope y'all have a good week. Good luck with your picks. We'll see you.